everyone, I am Dayan Grace Amparo Brildo, a second-year college criminology student, and in this video discussion, we will be discussing the specialized law enforcement agencies, which are the NBI or National Bureau of Investigation and PDEA, which is the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. So, before we proceed to our formal discussion, let us first identify what is a law enforcement agency. A law enforcement agency or LEA is any government agency responsible for the enforcement of the laws, maintaining public order, and managing public safety. We will be discussing the National Bureau of Investigation or NBI, which is the agency of Philippine government under the Department of Justice. They are responsible for handling and solving major high-profile cases that are in the interest of the nation. We will be also discussing the PDEA or the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, which is the lead anti-drug law enforcement agency. They are responsible for preventing, investigating, and combating any dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essentials chemicals with the Philippines.
So, in Chapter 7, which is the final chapter, we will be discussing the specialized law enforcement agencies. But before we proceed, let us first identify what is a law enforcement agency. A law enforcement agency is any government agency responsible for the enforcement of the laws. The law enforcement system in the country is so complex o napakakomplikado ng sistema ng pagpapatupad ng batas sa bansa. So, Philippine government maintains various law enforcement agencies to serve the many classification or categories of its national law. The Philippine government maintains different agencies o mga ahensyang may iba't ibang klasifikasyon o kategorya o tungkulin na magpatupad ng bawat batas. So, these agencies and bureaus are outlined in the Revised Administrative Code of 1987 that provides the President's executive branch. Below the presidents are the secretaries of executive departments. In the most cases, law enforcement agencies answer upward to the department undersecretary, the secretary, and the president. Each agency is answerable through its chain of command to the secretary of the department who drafts the department's mission statement. While it might seem as though this lack of uniformity would lead to chaos and confusion, it is beneficial in maintaining an overlapping network of activities that help toward criminal activity. What one agency is not tasked to handle, another agency is quick to pick up. When gaps in the network are discovered, they are quickly closed by shifting executive responsibilities with a corresponding bump in funding to accommodate the changes. So, this final chapter presents the various law enforcement agencies in different branches of the Philippine government that are mandated to enforce specific laws or statutes affecting the public safety, national security, and peace and order of the nation. Each agency in the Philippine government has different function created to fit them. For example, the NBI or National Bureau of Investigation, in which they are responsible o tungkulin nilang hawakan at lutasin ang matitindi at pambihirang kaso sa ating bansa. And another example is the PDEA or Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, in which they are responsible for preventing, investigating, and combating any dangerous drugs, controlled precursors, and essential chemicals within the Philippines.
Hello everyone, good day. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am Jomari Uyua, and I will report about the National Bureau of Investigation. Let me give you first a brief explanation about the NBI. What is National Bureau of Investigation? The NBI is a line agency under the Department of Justice and serves as the premier investigative agency of government. A director heads it with an assistant director and 6 deputy directors for special investigation services, regional operations services, intelligence services, technical services, administrative services, and controller services. Its territorial jurisdiction is national in scope, and its power to investigate cases extends to all municipalities, cities, and provinces of the entire Philippine archipelago. And as I continue my discussion, let me deliberate to you the legal basis of National Bureau of Investigation. First is the Commonwealth Act No. 181, November 13, 1936. So the inception of the National Bureau of Investigation, called initially Division of the Investigation, patterned after the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Next is the Republic Act No. 157, June 9, 1947, reorganized the Division of Investigation into the Bureau of Investigation under the Department of Justice. And then the Executive Order Number 94, October 4, 1949, renamed the Bureau of Investigation to National Bureau of Investigation, which remained attached to the AJ. Next is the Executive Order Number 292, July 25, 1987, the Administrative Code of 1987, provided for the organizational structure and operation of the DOJ and its attached agencies, including the NBI. And lastly, the Republic Act Number 10667, June 23, 2016, otherwise known as the National Bureau of Investigation, Organization and Modernization Act. And I will also tell you more things about the National Bureau of Investigation. And this is about the power and function of the National Bureau of Investigation. As for RA 10867. Number 1. Undertake investigation and detection of crimes and offenses enumerated under the Section 5 curve. Number 2. Issue sub fauna for the appearance of any person for investigation or production of documents through its officers from the ranks of regional director to director. Number 3. Act as the national clearinghouse of criminal records and other related information for the benefits of the government. Number 4. Render technical assistance to government agencies and instrumentalities when so requested. Number 5. Extend assistance in cases involving extradition and mutual legal assistance when requested by the Department of Justice. Number 6. Establish an NBI Academy, which shall be responsible for the recruitment, training, and development of all NBI agents and personnel, among others. Number 7. Establish and maintain a forensic and scientific research center, which shall serve as the primary center for forensic and scientific research and furtherance of scientific knowledge in criminal investigation, detection, evidence collection, and preservation, and provide the necessary training thereof. Number 8. Establish and maintain a cyber investigation and assessment center which shall serve as the nerve center for computer information technologies, data on cybercrime cases, computer intrusion, threats, and other related crimes or activities. Number 9. Establish and maintain an integrated, comprehensive, and state-of-the-art network of equipment and facilities to be used by the NBI in its criminal investigation, detection, and evidence gathering, and to provide corresponding training in these regards. Number 10. Request the assistance of the Philippine National Police, Armed Force of the Philippines, or any other agencies of the government, including government-owned and or controlled corporation, in its anti-crime drive. Such assistance may include the use of agency personnel and facilities upon prior approval by the head of agency concerned.
Number 11. Conduct intelligence operation in furtherance of the foregoing powers and function. Magsagawa ng intelligence operation sa pagsulong ng mga nabanggit na kapangyarihan at panggana. Number 12. Enter into any contract or transaction for the acquisition, ownership, possession, administration, lease, disposition, or acceptance of real or personal property in its name subject to the approval of the Secretary of Justice. Pumasok sa anumang pakikipag-ugnayan o transaction para sa acquisition, ownership, possession, administration, lease, disposition, o pagtanggap ng real o personal property sa pangalan nito na napapailalim sa pag-aproba ng Secretary. Number 13. Establish a modern NBI clearance and identification center containing all derogatory and criminal records and civilian identification records, including their identifying marks and characteristics and fingerprint database, as well as dental records under Presidential Decree Number 1575 entitled Requiring Practitioner of Dentistry to Keep Records of their Patient. Magtatag ng makabagong NBI clearance at identification center na naglalaman ng lahat ng mapanerang record at kriminal na record at civilian identification record kasama ang kanilang mga marka at katangian at fingerprint database. Gayon din ang mga dental records sa ilalim ng Presidential Decree Number 1575 na may karapatan na nangangailangan ng practitioner ng dentistry na panatilihin ang mga record ng kanilang mga pasyente. Number 14. Maintain for purposes of investigative and forensic requirement of the NBI relevant database such as ballistic records of firearms including but not limited to data ownership, possession, and other related identifying circumstance, and DNA data bank. Number 15. Perform such other function as the President or the Secretary of Justice. Gawin ang iba pang tungkulin ng maaaring italaga ng Pangulo o ng kalihim ng hustisya. The primary investigative jurisdiction of the NBI is 5 Republic Act 10867. Number 1. Human trafficking cases in all airports of the Philippines. Ang kaso ng human trafficking sa lahat ng paliparan sa Pilipinas. Number 2. Extrajudicial or extra-legal killings committed by the state's security force against media, practitioner, and activities. Extrajudicial or extra-legal na mga patay na ginawa ng pwersang pansiguridad ng Estado laban sa mga practitioner at aktibidad ng media. Number 3. Killing of justice and judge. Pagpatay ng hustisya at hukom. Number 4. Violation of Republic Act Number 10175, otherwise known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act. Paglabag sa Republika Act Number 10175 o kilala bilang Cybercrime Prevention Act. Number 5. Cases referred by the Interagency Anti-Graft Coordinating Council. Mga kasong isinaguni ng Interagency Anti-Graft Coordinating Council. Number 6. Violation and Anti-Dummy Law. Paglabag sa Anti-Dummy Law. Number 7. cases involving threats to security or assault against the person of the President, Vice President, Senate President, Speaker of the House of the Representative, and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Number 8. Transnational crime pursuant to existing international agreements. Transnational na krimen alinsunod sa mga umiiral na kasunduan sa interaction. Number 9. Identification of dead or victim in case of mass fatality incidents caused by the natural disaster. Pagkilala sa mga patay o biktima sa kaso ng mga insidente ng mass fatality na dulot ng natural na kalamidad. Number 10. Violation of commercial, economic, and financial or white-collar crimes such as but not limited to those punishable under Republic Act Number 8792, otherwise known as Commerce Act of 2000, Republic Act Number 8484, otherwise known as Access Device Regulation Act of 1998, Republic Act Number 8293, otherwise known as Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, Republic Act Number 8799, otherwise known as Securities Regulation Code, Presidential Decree Number 1689, otherwise known as Decree Increasing the Penalty for Certain Forms of Estafa, and other similar penal statutes that Congress may enact. Number 11. Any crime with the public interest so requires as directed by the President or the Secretary of Justice. Anumang krimen kung kinakailangan ng interes ng publiko ayon sa direksyon ng Pangulo o ng kalihim ng hustisya.
Qualification for NBI agent S-8RA 10867, Citizen of the Philippines. Citizen of the Philippines are person born to at least one parent who is Philippine citizen automatically receive Philippine citizenship at birth. So, sino mang ipinanganak na isang mamayan ng Pilipinas ay automatikong tumatanggap ng pagkamamaya ng Pilipinas sa kapanganakan. So, good of moral character. Good moral character is an ideal state of a person, belief, and virtue that is considered most beneficial to society. In United States law, good moral character can be assessed through the requirement of a virtue act or by principally evaluating negative conduct. So, ang mabuting moral daw ay katangian ng isang perpektong estado ng mga paniniwala at pagpapahalaga ng isang tao na itinuturing na pinakapakipakinabang sa lipunan. Sa batas na bandang ng Estados Unidos, ang mabuting moral daw ay katangian na maaaring masuri sa pamamagitan ng pangangailangan ng mabuting gawa o sa pamamagitan ng pangunahing pagsusuri sa negatibong pag-uugali. And number 3, a member of the Philippine Bar or a holder of baccalaureate degree who passed the necessary government licensure examination relevant to the investigative function of the NBI and successfully passed the competitive mental and physical examination required by the NBI. At kung ang sino man daw ang makapasa sa competitive mental at physical examination na kailangan ng NBI, ay maaari nang maging miyembro ng kanilang organisasyon or grupo ng NBI. So, next, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency or PDEA The Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency is the lead anti-drug law enforcement agency responsible for preventing, investigating, and combating any dangerous drugs, controlling precursors, and essential chemical within the Philippines. It is headed by Director General with the cabinet rank of Undersecretary, who is responsible for the general administration and management of the agency. Two deputies Director General assist the Director General in the rank of Assistant Secretary, one for Administration or DDGA and the other one for Operations DDGO. The Office of the Director General is also supported by the Secretary for Director Staff, Chief of Public Information Office or PIO, Chief of Information Technology System Management Unit or CAMU. The Director General of the PDEA is responsible for the necessary changes in the organizational setup submitted to the DDB for approval. So, ang the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency daw ay nagpapatupad ito ng droga. Ahensyang ito ay nagpapatupad ng droga sa Pilipinas ay ang nangungunang ahensyang nagpapatupad ng batas laban sa droga na responsable sa pagpigil, pagsisiyasat at paglaban sa anumang mapanganib na droga. Kontrolin ang pagsimula at mahalagang chemical sa loob ng Pilipinas. Ito ay pinamumunuan ng isang Director General na may ranggo ng Gabinete ng Undersecretary na responsable para sa pagkahalatang administrasyon at ang general ang tumutulong sa Director General na may ranggong Assistant Secretary. At may dalawang uri ng tinatawang Director General. Ang una ay para sa pangasiwa at ang isa naman ay para sa operasyon. At ang Director General ng PDEA ay responsable para sa mga kinakailangang pagbabago sa organizational na setup na isinumite sa DDB para sa pag-aproba. Next is regional offices. It consists of 17 regional offices headed by director in the different regions of the country, responsible for implementing LEA-1 and the agency's policies, program, and problems and project in a different region. So, ang regional offices daw ay binubuo ng 17 region at tanggapan na pinagmumulan ng mga direktor ng iba't ibang rehiyon ng bansa. At sila rin ay responsable sa pagpapatupad ng LEA-1 at sa mga patakaran, programa at problema at proyekto ng ahensya sa iba't ibang rehiyon. Next, PDEA Academy. PDEA Academy maintains its own PDEA Academy temporarily located at Camp General Mariano and Castañeda in Silang, Cavite. The PDEA Academy is headed by a superintendent with the rank of director. It is responsible for the recruitment and training of all PDEA agents and personnel. So, ang PDEA daw ay mayroong sariling academy temporarily at located ito sa General Mariano and Castañedas in Silang, Cavite. At pinamumunuan ito ng isang superintendent na may ranggong director at siya rin ang responsable na humawak sa mga ahente or mga tauhan ng PDEA upang sanayin at isain sa pagiging miyembro nito. Next is legal basis of the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency. PDEA was established by virtue of Republic Act Number 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002 on June 7, 2002, and it took effect on July 4, 2002. The law defines more concrete courses of the action of the National Anti-Drug Campaign imposes heavier penalties on the offenders, and reorganized the Philippine Drug Law Enforcement System, while the Dangerous Drug Board remains as the policy-making and strategy formulating body in the planning and formulation of policies and programs on drug control and prevention. It created the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency under the Office of the President. So, naitatag ang PDEA sa bisa ng Republic number 9165 o ang Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002 noong Hunyo 7, 2002 at iniabot ito noong Hunyo 4, 2002. Ang batas ay nagbibigay ng mas konkretong kurso ng aksyon para sa pambansang antidroga kumpanyang nagpapato ng mas mabibigat na parusa sa mga nagkakasala at muling ayusin ang sistema ng pagpapatupad ng batas sa droga sa Pilipinas, habang ang delikadong drug board ay nananatili bilang ang policy making at strategy formulating body sa pagpaplano at pagbabalangkas ng mga patakaran at ang Philippine Drug Agency sa ilalim ng opisina ng Pangulo.
So I am Obleno Cusaldi. The RA 9165 abolished the National Drug Law Enforcement and Prevention Coordinating Center created under Executive Number 61, the Narcotic Group of the Philippines National Police, Narcotic Division of National Bureau of Investigation, and the Custom Narcotic Interdiction Unit of the Bureau of Custom. Under Executive Order Number 206 dated by May 15, 2003, this law enforcement agency have organized the following anti-illegal drugs task force to support the PDEA. Number 1, the Philippine National Police Anti-Illegal Drugs Special Operation Task Force. Number 2 is National Bureau of Investigation Anti-Illegal Drugs Task Force. Number 3 is a Bureau of Custom Task Group Force in Dangerous Drug and Control Chemicals. The powers and duties of the PDEA. Number 1, implement of cost and efficient and effective implementation of the National Drug Control Strategy formulated by the Board, thereby carrying out of National Drug Campaign Program, which shall include drug law enforcement, control, and prevention campaign with the assistance of concerned of government agency. So, kailangan magkaroon ng diskarte para makontrol ang droga sa loob ng bansa sa tulong ng mga kinaukulang ahensya ng pamahalaan. So number 2, undertake the enforcement of the provision of Article 2 of this Act relative to unlawful act of penalties involving any dangerous drug and or control precursor and essential chemical, and investigate all violators and other matters involved in the commission of any crime relative to the use of, abuse, or trafficking of any dangerous drug act or control precursor and essential chemical as provided for in this act and the provision of Presidential Decree of 1619. So kailangan magpatawan ng batas kaugnay sa mga lumabag sa batas at mga parusa na kinasasangkutan ng droga. Kailangan din imbestigahan ang lahat ng lumabag at iba pang bagay na kasangkot sa paggawa ng anumang krimen na may kaugnayan sa paggamit ng droga, mga abuso o traffic. So number 3, administer an oath issue sub buena and sub buena dos ticum relative to the conduct of investigation involving the violations of this act. So kailangan magsagawa ng panunumpa kaugnay sa paggawa ng investigasyon na kinasasangkutan ng mga paglabag sa batas na ito. So number 4, arrest, apprehend, as well as search of violators and seize of confiscate and are effect of proceed of crime as provided by the law, and all take custody thereof for this purpose, and prosecutor and enforcement agents are authorized to possess firearms following existing law. So kailangan arestuhin at hulihin ang lahat ng lumabag at kumpiskahin ng mga epekto o nalikang droga o ebidensya. So number 5, take charge and have custody of dangerous drug, control, precursor, and essential chemical size confiscated or surrender of any national, province, or local law enforcement agency if no longer needed for purpose of evidence in court. So pangasiwaan at ingatan ng lahat ng mapanganib na gamot at ikontrol ang mga precursor at mahalagang chemical na kinuha o kinumpiska. So number 6, establish forensic laboratories in HPNP office in every province and cities to facilitate action on seized or confiscated drugs, thereby sustaining its destruction without delay. So dapat pagtatag ng mga forensic laboratories sa lahat ng tanggapan ng PNP o sa lahat ng lalawigan para mapadali ang aksyon sa mga nakumpiskang droga. So number 7, recommended to the DOH of forfeiture of properties and other asset of a person and corporation who found to be violating the provision of Anti-Money Laundering Act 2001. So dapat i-recommend sa DOH ang pag-access ng mga tao at mga korporasyon nagpapatunay na lumabag sa mga provision ng Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001. Number 8, prepare of prosecution of cause the failing of appropriate chemical and civil cases for violation of all laws on dangerous drug control, precursor and essential chemical and other similar control substance and acid. Support and coordinate with other government agency for the proper and effective prosecution of the same. So, dapat maging handa sa anong mga gagawin na mga aksyon para maging successfulan pagdapapan ng mga droga. So number 9, monitor and if warranted by circumstance in coordination, the Philippine Postal Office and the Bureau of Customs inspect of all cargo package, parcels and mails in the Central Post Office, which appears from the package and address itself to be a possible importation of dangerous drug or control prosecutor and essential chemical through online or cyber shop via internet or cyberspace. So dapat suwaybayan o makipag-ugnayan sa Philippine Postal Office o PPO at Bureau of Customs para siyasatin ang lahat ng air cargo package para maiwasan ang pag-import at pag-export ng droga dito sa Pilipinas. So number 10, conduct eradication program to destroy wild or illegal growth of plants from which dangerous drug may be extracted. So dapat magsagawa ng programa na ma-destroy ang mga illegal growth dahil may posibilidad nga didihin nila nakuha para mahimong mga drugs. So that's all. Thank you.
My name is Angelo Gica, my 20 years old. 11. Initiate and undertake the formation of nationwide organization that shall coordinate and supervise all activities against drug abuse in every province, city, municipality, and barangay, with the active and direct participation of such local government units and governmental organizations, including the citizenry, subject of the provisions of previously formulated programs of action against dangerous drugs. Simulan at panuuna ng pumasyon ng pambansang organisasyon na mahala sa mga aktibidad na may nilalaman sa pagsugpo ng paggamit ng ipinagbabawal na gamot sa lahat ng probinsya, syudad, munisipalidad at barangay na may partisipasyon ng lahat ng LGU at mga non-government organization. Number 12. Establish and maintain national drug intelligence system and cooperation with law enforcement agencies, other government agencies, or offenses and local government units that will assist in its apprehension of big-time drug lords. Itatag at panatilihin ang National Drug Intelligence System o pamagitan ng kooperasyon ng law enforcement agencies at iba pang ahensya ng pamahalaan at LGU tumutulong sa pagtuntun o pagdakip sa mga big-time drug lord. Number 13. Establish and maintain close coordination, cooperation, and linkage with international drug control and administration agencies and organizations and implement the applicable provisions of international conventions and agreements related to dangerous drugs to which Philippines signatory. Pagtatag at pagpapatili sa mabuting kooperasyon, koordinasyon at ugnayan sa international drug control at administration agencies and organization at pagpapatupad ng paggamit ng provision ng international conventional sa kasunduang may kinalaman sa pagbabawal sa paggamit ng droga kung saan ang Pilipinas ay nakalagda. 14. Create, maintain, and efficient especially enforcement unit to conduct an investigation, file charge, and transmit evidence to the proper court wherein members of the said unit shall possess suitable and adequate firearms for the protection in connection with the performance of their duties, provide that no previous special permit for such possession shall be required. Pagtatag at panatili ng efficient special enforcement unit para magsagawa ng investigasyon, magsanipa ng kasa at naghahatid ng mga ebidensya sa nauukulang korte, kung saan ang membro ng nasabing unit ay natataglay ng tama at narapat na kagamitan para sa kanilang proteksyon at may kinalaman na rin sa trabahong kanilang ginagampanan. Fifteen. Required all government and private hospitals, clinics, doctors, dentists, and other practitioners to submit a report to it coordination with the board about all dangerous drugs and or control precursors and essential chemical which they have attended to for data and information purposes. Kailangan mag-sumitin ng report ang lahat ng hospital, both public and private clinics, doctors, at iba pang practitioner na may kinalaman sa pinagbabawal na gamot at mahalagang chemical para sa data and information purposes. 16. Coordinate with the board for the facilitation of the issuance of necessary guidelines, rules, and regulations for the proper implementations of this act and pangunahan at pamunuan ng national campaign sa drug prevention, drug control programs sa tulong ng iba't ibang kagawan ng borka, opisina, ahensya, or sa kaparaanan ng gobyerno kasama ang illegal drugs drive, kung saan kasama rin ang paggamit ng 53 to 54 ng kanilang personnel, tagapamahalaan at mga kagamitan para sa pagpatuloy ng investigasyon ng crime ng may kinalaman sa droga na investigasyon ng crime may kinalaman na droga paghuli ng mga drug traffickers. Submit annual periodic reports to board as required from the time to time. Perform such other function as may be authorized or required under existing laws as directed by the President himself or herself or as recommended by congressional committees concerned. Magsumiting ng mga periodic reports sa board na kailangan sa bawat oras at isakatuparan din ang pagtungkulin ng otorisado at kailangan na under sa existing law na ipinag-authors ng presidente o intermenda ng congressional committee. Qualification for PDEA agents: 1. 21 to 35 years old. 2. 5'2" in height for male, 5 in height for females, with NCIP issue certificate of confirmation, COC of underheight. Number 3, baccalaureate degree holder. Number 4, eligible for career services second level position by CS professional or board exam passer or qualified by CSC or under special laws. Yun lang, thank you.